This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, this is the AnCan Foundation's Veteran Support Group for December the 16th, 2025. The year's almost over. I'm Jim Marshall. I am the moderator here. And the first thing I would like to do is to thank the AnCan Foundation for sponsoring this, and then also the sponsors, which include Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, Bayer, Foundation Medicine, Myriad Genetics, Telix, and Blue Earth Diagnostics. So this is a group that talks about veteran affairs. We also talk about military retirement, and also I can also talk about federal civilian retirement plus the healthcare, because I am in all three of these. So okay, Mr. Don, you're new, so we would like to get to understand a little bit about you. So let me take some notes. So where did you serve, or what branch?
Army.
Army. Are you a Vietnam vet or Gulf War or what?
No, I took basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then I came to Colorado Springs to Fort Carson.
Okay, and how long did you stay there?
21 months at Fort Carson.
21 months at Carson. Were you a draftee?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, a draftee. So it was basic for like 2 months. AIT maybe? Or
No, I didn't have any of that. Just went from basic to duty at Fort Carson.
And you were at Carson the entire time?
Yeah. Well, I got drafted in November of 1963.
Oh, wow.
And I got out in November of 1965.
Oh, right before Vietnam started to go hot and heavy.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
I went home 2 weeks before Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh, wow. And so, what was your job in the military?
Yeah, I had some pretty cush jobs. I was in our artillery, but I wasn't on the guns. I was in headquarters and headquarters battery, division artillery. We had 105 howitzers, 155s, and 8-inch, and an Honest John rocket.
Okay.
And I drove a 2.5-ton operations van, and out of that van, the colonel and all the heads of the artillery, they plotted the rounds and stuff when they'd fire the guns and stuff. And so I just, at the end, they pack it up and go back to base. And we were on field problems, for sometimes 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. And then I drove a major communications officer, major, around in a Jeep for a while. And then one day, this friend of mine, he was the clerk typist for the captain and the first sergeant. And he said, well, at the noon formation, they're going to ask for somebody that has life-saving. I never stood in the front row, because the first sergeant would always say, you, and you go pick up cigarette butts. You, and you go cut weeds. But that day I stood in the front row, and the first sergeant says, anybody here have life saving? He said, okay, Larson, report to the swimming pool. You're going to be a lifeguard for 6
Oh,
months. So
6 months as a lifeguard?
Yep.
I thought the Air Force had cushy stuff.
I taught dependents kids how to swim in the morning at the indoor pool, and then I lifeguarded at the outdoor pool in the afternoon.
Hey,
Cush job.
here
And
you were.
I played baseball on the artillery baseball team too. So,
Not too bad at all.
but
Okay.
when I got out, the first sergeant came over and he shook my hand. He says, Larson, you've been one hell of a soldier. He says, I sure wished you'd stay.
You were probably wise to get out, because about that time they were starting to ship folks in with Vietnam hot and heavy. So,
yeah, for sure.
and then after that, what did you do? Schooling or anything, or?
Well,
I'm just curious.
I was a fireman. I live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin now.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in Colorado for 33 years, and I left Eau Claire in 1974 and lived out there for 33 years, and so I'm back here just under circumstances. And but I was a fireman here in Eau Claire for 3 years, and then I went in the insurance business. I sold life and health insurance, and that wasn't going too good, so I packed up my family and we moved to Colorado, and I became an industrial chemical salesman. I sold all-purpose cleaners, stuff you couldn't buy in a store, you know.
Right, sure.
And mops and brooms and dust mops and garbage cans and plastic bags and you name it.
Wow, okay.
And then one day I walked into one of my customers in Vail, and the manager was a real cantankerous guy, and he just didn't know from one day to the other day what kind of mood he was going to be in. And so I came in his office and he shut the door and he says, one time you said you wouldn't mind doing something like this. We're leaving here and we think you're the guy for the job. And so I became the manager of this beautiful complex called Pinos del Norte, owned by very rich Mexicans. And I did that for 9 years.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's, I take it you are not really here, or you're here to find out about the VA and stuff?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like there's not too much to hang your hat on, except I don't know that much about Fort Carson.
You're right.
So I'm not quite sure about the toxic exposure that was there for Leonard Wood. So I'll have to do some research on that one. How are there possibly any immediate health issues?
With me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm being treated for prostate cancer.
Oh, okay. And are you currently under treatment? I'm just curious, or?
Yeah.
And how long is your treatment supposed to go?
Well, for as long as it lasts, I guess.
Well, are you stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4? Or
stage 4.
Oh, you are stage 4. Okay, so I take it, have you come into the AnCan Foundation high risk group yet?
No.
you should join us because
Yeah, I
that
will.
is
I will.
a great place to go in. And in fact, I am stage 4 now, and with 8+ years on a treatment holiday for close to 3.5 years.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a place that you would want to join because they have some very smart folks in there, including a number of doctors who have stage 4, which is amazing to me because they're supposed to know all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Well, that's the whole thing. When I discovered that I had it, the doctor he told me, well, after you get to a certain age, we don't check it anymore.
Well, yeah,
That's a real that was a real eye opener to me. I mean, I had
right.
a physical every year, and if they don't check my PSA and all this here stuff, and oh, that's all right. We'll just let them go. And
Oh, yeah, that is the thinking. Bob Schwartz, you have your hand up. You're muted. You're still muted.
There it goes. The
Oh,
fingers.
there we
I still got the neuropathy in the fingertip. Sorry about that. I
Oh,
just looked up Fort Carson. Apparently, it has been associated with toxic exposure due to PFAS firefighting foams, and it has involved contamination of the water supplies too.
wow,
yeah, that's true. But the thing that there really isn't any kind of link between the PFAS to prostate cancer. Now,
Okay.
if it's something like trichloroethylene, which was used to clean guns, did you ever clean guns at all, Don?
oh yeah. Well, I clean my rifle all the time. That's for sure.
Okay, well then you use probably TCE, it's called. Did you ever clean any of the big guns?
No,
No,
I never cleaned any of them. No.
shucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I will have to delve into this to see if there's a way to see if that is the thing. Do you have any lung issues,
No, sir.
breathing problems?
No.
Because a lot of the bases and posts within the old World War II barracks, asbestos, that can cause problems, not necessarily prostate cancer, but that can cause lung problems, breathing problems, and other things. Interesting. Okay, is there any questions that you have for us?
No, I'm here for listening to anything that you can come my way and learn things. I've never used VA for anything.
Yeah, now there is the possibility that maybe we could get you rated for TERA, and TERA is toxic exposure risk activity. That is not money-wise out of the VA, but that is essentially healthcare. But we would have to figure out a strong enough case to contend that you were exposed to a multitude of toxic materials, because that was put in place on March the 5th of 2024. And if anybody gets essentially a rating now as a part of the benefit evaluation, the thing that will happen is that they will evaluate the person for TERA. and that's on the healthcare side. And if I had a guy that was, he was actually turned down for prostate cancer, but he was rated for TERA. So they turned him down for a disability, but they granted him 100% free VA health care, which is not too shabby at all. So that's the thing I will try to look at, and maybe that can be engineered. So I'll give it a shot here, especially over Christmas. Around here, there is Christmas around the Washington, D.C. area, and everybody leaves town.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all of the politicians and, you know, folks go out and they happen to leave us alone, and it's peace and quiet around here. So I'll have about 3 weeks of not doing that much. I can check into things. Okay. Dan, do you have anything to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
I was, I've been to the highest level review and I denied my disability for prostate cancer.
Okay. And
I was wondering if I was able to find airmen that I served with that had prostate cancer. Would that strengthen my case?
probably, I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless, well, Jim, do you have something to throw into this?
Yeah, I want you to tell Don how to file for
Oh.
intent.
Oh, yeah. I thank you very much. Yeah. Don, tomorrow, the thing that you should do as a hedge here is to do the VA intent to file. Okay, and all that you do is to call up a telephone number, 1-800, okay, 827 1000. And you just tell the person that you are doing the intent to file, the magic words. You do not have to tell them what you are going to file for or when it shall be filed. It's just to start the intent to file. And that means that we have 1 year to put in a claim. Okay. And provided you get money out of that claim, it will then be then backdated back to tomorrow. Okay. And now, if no claim gets submitted, it will just magically go away. Okay. No harm, no foul. Okay.
If
Okay,
it's
fine.
prostate, if it's prostate cancer, it goes back another year. You know, we know that.
Well, that's something I'm trying to check out, because yours was something about a law change, and I'm trying to figure out what, if that was just a special case, or it's only good for this year, or it's going to be good for next year, or what. But it's at least going to be start tomorrow.
Right.
Now, it might be more than that. I don't know. So that was, yeah. Jim's case is a little mystical to me because at the time it was granted, they went back to the intent to file date and then went back an additional 1 year to start paying him, which was like his ship docked and it was loaded with money. It was a heck of a windfall.
There was.
And the explanation for it was a little cryptic. I didn't quite catch that one, but I will have to look at it again. I got to make a note here. Check the law. Yeah, it was something about in the year of the law change that this applied. So I don't know if it means forever or only in the year that of the law changed. So anyway, okay, getting back to Dan's question. Now, are they disputing service connection?
Yes.
Okay. And refresh my memory. I didn't do the claim, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What I did was I filed for a claim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, submit my evidence, so I did that. They denied me, said it wasn't service related.
Right.
And then I disputed that. I went to another review. They
Right.
disputed. Then I went to a high level review,
Okay.
and then they denied that.
Okay.
As far as I've gone.
Okay. Now, just out of curiosity, I take it that you're not covered and we're under the PACT Act, right?
No.
Okay. What did you try to contend was your service connection? What did you try to hang your hat on?
I did the JP4, JP8. I tried to connect to that, and I also had an epithelioid sarcoma, and I tried, and I was working on with nuclear bombs, so I was trying to connect that to the
Ooh.
sarcoma.
Okay. So I take it you did not contend ionizing radiation?
I did.
You did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, did you also submit a nexus letter from a doctor agreeing with you?
I did.
Ooh,
My oncologist. For the prostate cancer, my oncologist, I did a nexus letter from him.
and I don't know what that thing said, but I'd be curious as to how it was worded.
We had the statement on is something more something likely, but I can't remember what the exact wording was. Let me see if I can get it real quickly.
You see you.
Oh, Jim, I see the wife. Hey, anyway, how you doing?
She's waving at Don.
Huh?
Let's see. Oh, that's not the one.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I can't.
in the interest of time, the thing that I can do, if you want, if you can send me that letter,
Okay.
I would like to read it to see how it was worded, because it's a little strange that you claimed ionizing radiation under the PACT Act.
Mhm. Not on the PACT Act.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
because I
I
said
will have
that.
to look at that to make sure that prostate cancer is under ionizing radiation under the PACT Act. And then also some of the descriptions of your job, task, etc., like that around. And maybe the thing we can do is to go in, okay, on a supplemental claim and to sort of re-emphasize this using a different approach.
Okay.
And I can also, I will need to get with you to get some specifics on your job title, what you actually happen to work on. Now, I don't know if you can divulge what kind of nukes you were on, etc. But if I can get some of that, I can get into, plus also where you happen to work on those. Okay, the bases,
Okay.
and try to get that information and then try to craft up something
Okay.
and go back on a supplemental claim. And you have 1 year to go back in on a supplemental claim, and you will retain the original intent to file date.
Good. Okay. Good.
So hopefully if they happen to buy it.
Right.
Now,
So I'll send the letters that the doctors support my claim, the bases I work with, and the type of nukes I worked with.
yes,
Okay.
if you
And-
can, to start, and then actually if I don't remember if I've got your contact
I think
information. I got a book like this.
okay.
These are all vets. So sometimes I get a little,
Yeah. Yeah. One time you asked that I was part of my job cleaning tools,
yeah,
and I was going through some of my VA paperwork.
yeah.
I found one of my descriptions that I was assigned to cleaning tools and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, that
yeah.
could be a way to approach it, because the cleaning tools wise was probably with trichloroethylene.
Mhm.
So that might be. Jim, do you have your hand up? Oh, okay. Let me take it down because it's a little distracting. Colonel Boykin, anyway, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for being late. I was tied up in another meeting, but I'm happy to be here
Yeah.
with everybody tonight.
Okay, I got you in. Okay, and then we got Cole. Okay, back to Dan. Okay, yeah. Send me that information,
Okay.
and I will start to poke around and see what kind of ideas I can get to try to put in a supplemental claim, or possibly take a different approach on a different occupation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Yep. I'll do that this week.
Okay, good. That's good. Now, Tony Fig on travel. I
Yes.
think you want to talk about travel, okay, and the 10091 form. Right.
I received a letter from the local VA cashier, and
Okay.
she told me that I had not presented the 10091.
Right.
And so she had me fill it out and send it in.
Okay.
So my understanding is that's for travel for for private doctors or community care doctors, that you can claim
No,
mileage for that.
actually that is for travel, period. And in fact, I filed a claim because I had my VA doctor appointment, and all I did was to go in after the appointment. You go into My Healthy Vet and you go into appointments, and that appointment will show up for approximately 30 days after you have attended it.
Right.
And right under the appointment, it'll say file a travel claim. And if you click on that, you are bounced over to sign on to the travel system. And all you do is you put in your credentials, and it goes over there, and you don't have to enter anything. It just magically creates the claim and submits it.
What about for private doctors or community care doctors?
Now that is where you would have to go into that BTSSS, which is the Basic Travel Self-Service System, I think it stands for. And poke around in there, because that's the one that you would have to, I don't know if you have to fill out forms to submit, but you need receipts and everything like that. So I really am not going to encounter that until my condition deteriorates, which I hope never. Yes, I want to stay as I am. So I haven't really had a chance anyway to file a claim. So if you are going to do it, how would you like to be the guinea pig?
I would love to do that. I'll dig into it and give you the process and what the outcome is.
Flow by flow. Now, on that one, okay, the thing is, Mr. Boykin, the BTSSS is the beneficiary, wait a minute. The BTSSS is the Beneficiary Travel Self-Service System. And you can catch that up in the chat.
Yeah,
in the chat are the two little boxes up in the right-hand corner.
Right.
And now probably, I don't remember if I sent out that 10091 in the last reminder, or this reminder telling how to fill it out. I may not have. I think it's coming out in the first week in January. So
I filled it out online, and it was accepted, and I got an email that it was accepted.
Yes, okay. Although the form looks like a vendor form, and it says on it, you are a vendor. And then under, I think option 6, you check a veteran, and then there's an address to put in, etc. And I wrote up a little blurb on that, and I showed a picture of the form. So if anybody happens to need that, contact me, and I will be happy to do it.
I have another question.
Okay.
is I had prostatectomy and then I had radiation. And
Right.
as a result of radiation, it did some damage to the bladder. So I ended up having radiation, hematura, cystitis.
Mm-hmm.
So is there, and that can be long term. It can start anywhere
Yes.
from 6 months to 20 years afterwards. So is that something that it's a result of the prostate cancer and the treatment, but would I put in a claim for that, or what
Yes.
benefit would there be for that?
Yes, you can. And I'm just having a senior moment because that topic came up last week around here. And I have to go back into my notes because one of the veterans brought that up and I answered him, and I don't remember which one. And he talked to the VA and they kind of outlined what he would put in for. And it can be, I think it was a rating either up around 30 to 40% could be claimed for that. And I will have to poke around and try to find that.
Before my claim was approved, in the C&P exam, they were aware of this, but they probably
Right.
didn't do anything because it has to be a separate claim.
Yes, it would need to be a new claim, and your radiation cystitis would be claimed as secondary to the prostate cancer radiation treatment. That would be the service connection. Okay, that's the first hurdle. Okay, the second hurdle is getting a doctor to state that you actually have radiation cystitis and to describe it essentially within the claim and expound on the cause. And then number 3 is you're probably seeing a doctor on recurring medical appointments for this or something being checked out. And what kind of drugs or treatments are you having, if there are any?
I had surgery to cauterize and to remove some cyst, and they're going to recommend that I get hyperbaric oxygen treatments.
Oh, okay. And then are there any drugs that you're on?
No.
No, nothing for that. Okay. And out of it all, the last thing are, what are the effects that you're encountering, both the physical, the psychological, and the sociological effects? And think about those.
All right.
And that would probably be a rather easy claim to put together because, as I said, the hardest part is to assert service connection.
Okay.
And since they bought off, on the prostate cancer, this is a result of that treatment.
Okay.
Okay, now, is this causing you any other problems because you have this radiation cystitis?
Just pretty much constant bleeding.
Okay, the bleeding, or the bladder issues, and etc.
Right.
Now, I don't believe they would take the cauterizing part as surgery. That's probably just classed as a treatment. Okay. Now, on the prostate cancer, are you still under treatment for that?
Yes. yeah, PSA has been going up fractionally, but yeah, I'm under quarterly treatment for that reviews.
Okay, and so I take it you're in the claim. Did we assert you were stage 3 or stage 4?
Stage 3.
Okay, so, and you just had the radiation, right?
Prostatectomy and
And the
radiation.
radiation. Okay, at some point.
And ATP.
Okay, well, at some point, because the PSA is continuing to rise, which means, do we know where it is in the body? Has it been
No.
actually detected?
No, we're going to do another PSMA after it goes up a
Okay,
little more.
so at the time that that scan gets done, and we hope that it's not taking a real road trip, but if at some point you turn from stage 3 into a true stage 4, that would be the time to do the updated claim that would put you at 100% permanent and total.
Okay.
And then once you reach the 100% permanent and total, then you will stop getting the CNP exams, and you're at the top of the game, which we hope not. But if it's true, it's true.
What is the benefit of a secondary claim? I'm at 100% temporary right now.
Okay, because the point is, okay, because you're stage 3, and there is a possibility that, let's just say that your stage 3 gets treated and you achieve a durable remission. Okay. At that point, you are going to be then downgraded to either 10, 20, 40, or 60%. So you'll drop from 100. So if you've got that radiation cystitis, and let's say that you drop to a 40, and the radiation cystitis is worth, let's say, 30, so that's 30% of 60, that's another 18, so you would now be rated at 60.
Okay.
The 40 to the 60. Now, you say, well, what happens if I get to stage 4? And I'm 100. Okay, I'm a straight 100. Well, okay, if the radiation cystitis was only 30, then no, you're not getting any more money. But if that radiation cystitis jumped to 60, you have one that's 100 and one that's 60, and that entitles you to special monthly compensation, which is about an extra $550 a month on top of the 100.
Okay.
So, as I say, you can apply for that. You don't have to, but eventually, in the long haul, it could add up.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. I appreciate your help and guidance on that one. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay. Anything else? No.
Nope.
Okay. Who's next? Eric, no, Israel's next. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jim, I just had a quick question
Okay.
for the intent to file. Do I just use that 210966? That's the only form I have to submit right now?
No, well, you can do the form, or you can just pick up the telephone and do. Now, I thought you already did the intent to file. No?
I don't think so.
No? I thought we did that.
You're talking about the supplemental claim. Yeah,
Oh,
we did.
No,
I submitted
no.
this.
A supplemental claim is now based upon the original claim.
Right.
And you have 1 year from the date of denial, if there is a date of denial, to submit the supplemental.
Right. So
And
I've already submitted the supplemental claim. So now I'm switching gears, and while I'm waiting for that process to work out, I
Oh.
want to submit a letter of intent for secondary conditions.
oh, a new one. Now,
Yes.
you say a secondary. Is it a secondary to one that you've already got awarded?
No. I'm assuming the supplemental claim is going to be positive.
Well, I would wait until that one is decided, because if it hasn't been decided yet and they process your next claim, it'll be turned down.
No, I'm not going to submit a claim yet. I was just going to submit the intent to file while I'm working on the claim.
Oh, okay. Well, then all that you have to do is to pick up the phone and call 1-800, 827-1000 and say, I want to do an intent to file, and it's done. No form, just.
And then, so will that be showing, so like, whatever, a few days later or a week later, will that show up on my va.gov account that it's been filed?
It should. It should.
Okay.
Okay, Dan, you have your hand up.
Yes. Can
Yeah.
you put your email address in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And your phone number is 703-338-7341?
Yep. Affirmative on that one.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, that's all I have. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay. Speaking about email address, anybody out there that would like to contact me via email, you can email me at captjim@ancan.org. And I check that one. And then I will probably use a personal address I've used for the last 8 years. So, but in the beginning, it's a lot easier to get to me through the AnCan website, who is the sponsor.
can you send that in the chat too, please?
What?
Can you put that in the chat?
Sure. Okay, I got that. Any other thing anybody wants to talk about? Oh, Don, yes.
When I call that number,
Yep,
I just tell them doing an intent to file.
that's it.
I don't say any more words.
Nope. Now-
they'll take over and do whatever they have to do.
Whatever they do now, the thing they will say is that they are going to then mail you some forms. And there'll be also a letter confirming the date.
Okay,
Just at the time that you get those forms, hang on to them.
okay,
Okay. You do not fill them out, etc., until I get in and
check it out.
right. I will check it out. Okay.
Okay,
I'd like to welcome Sylvester Mann. Anyway, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Hello,
Sylvester,
and happy holidays to each and every one of you.
right. Sylvester is a retired VA employee. And speaking about the VA, actually, in the last time we happened to get together, I announced that here locally there was going to be a National Comprehensive Cancer Network gathering that was going to talk about first responders and veterans. And it turns out that James Snyder and Richard Fisk, who attend these things, and I showed up at the National Press Building, a quite impressive place to attend this thing. And it was mainly discussions about first responders. And the veterans part was about 25% of the whole presentation. And they mainly talked about firefighters. And what I didn't realize, we think that we have been exposed to toxic materials. Well, the firefighters are like 500 times worse. And most of them, except in the state of Florida, really don't have anything like at the time they retire and with the VA to then provide them health care and services. So the bottom line out of this that I found out is tell your kids and your grandkids you do not want to become a firefighter. It was depressing to hear about all of the toxic stuff that these folks are exposed to. And so that was quite an interesting day talking about them, okay, and their cancers and the breathing problems they have and everything else. And some of the efforts to try to take care of them within their old age. Now, and we on the veteran side, I must say, on the VA people they had there were quite, there was a pharmacy guy there that talked about the pharmacy aspect, which was quite impressive. And then they had a gentleman that happened to make a statement, which after he made a statement, I proceeded over him and he and I had some words, and it's true. If you look at the statistics of when a veteran submits the claim for the first time, you will see a statistically high denial rate. And what he tried to communicate to the group is the VA purposely tries to deny your claim within the beginning. And as I said, after the session, he and I went not quite nose to nose, but I tried to explain to him that I believe it's the fact that the claims are not prepared correctly and the time and effort that it takes that I contend ought to be used is not done. And the thing that generally happens, a person gets denied, they get a lawyer that figures out how to do the claim, and eventually it gets awarded. So, as I said, in the way that I try to work is that we do a lot of work up front to get the claim complete. And so far, in the batting average has been about 95% on the first time through. And that's because of folks like you are willing to spend the time and effort to get everything you should get to do a fully developed claim. So, Eric, do you want to bring up anything?
No, otherwise I'm looking on va.gov and I'm kind of freaking out right now. My intent to file is not on there, and I did it on September 18th.
Well, then the thing I would do now, did you get a notice out of them? They should have sent you a letter and some forms.
I was just looking for the forms. I got a stack about that thick of all my military stuff I'm staring at right here. I got to go through.
Okay.
But they gave me some sort of rec number. So I'm going to have to call them tomorrow and ask them.
Yeah. How about to call them and see what it is. Now, on the status of your claim, as I said, around here, tomorrow is a free lunch thanks to the Washington Commanders who have had a dismal season, but at least they beat the Giants, so that helps. And then on Thursday and Friday, as I said, for your claim, I have all of the pieces, and it's called Some Assembly Required. Now, a question for you as long as we're here. In those dates out of Lafayette, Indiana, I take it that was within and with the National Guard, right?
Yeah, Army Reserves.
Or the Army Reserves. Okay, so that's okay. That's fine. So I just have to take, because I've got like, because what Eric is doing is using the trichloroethylene as the presumptive service connection for the prostate cancer. And he's got a track record of that. And he also has a doctor's statement and everything else. And I have a bunch of court cases and studies and a few other things. So I put this together for 2 other folks, and it flew in, and it was awarded. So I should get that done by probably Christmas time in a draft for you. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Henry Holloway showed up. Henry, how are things going along?
Very well, sir. Thanks to your expertise.
Okay. If I remember correctly, was it awarded yet?
Yes, sir.
And what did you get?
In numbers?
Yes.
60, from 10 to 60.
All right, the 10 to 60 because it was on.
I was for years at 10%.
Right.
But for a different purpose, a different situation. Right. And after I was so professionally coached and tutored, I picked up on the psychology because I have some street credits,
Right.
and yeah, it worked out. It worked out so well. I was puzzled. I mean, I sweated through it, but it just went. I don't think I was in my CMP more than 20 minutes.
Right. Good. Now, I believe, didn't I bump into you in the VA?
Initially,
Or, yes.
yes,
Initially, it
we're on the
was.
same. We have the same urologist, and we're both on the yellow team.
Yeah. Okay.
Primary
Well,
care.
it was a good day.
Oh yeah, it was a strange day.
Yeah.
I said, there's somebody who struck me as being as strange as me, but it was very interesting. I think
Oh, good.
we could use it for a title for a book. But if I
Yes.
may, I'd like to just ask a question.
Sure.
One is with the intent to file.
Okay.
So does it, strategy-wise, make sense to initiate another claim before that year is up for your intent to file, if you've already been rewarded the initial claim?
Okay. As I like to always say, as some of you know, let's go down the yellow brick road. Okay. In other words, from the Wizard of Oz, we follow the yellow brick road. Okay. So originally with us, we started out, we did the intent to file.
Correct.
And we then, or I didn't stick in the claim, you sticked in the claim, and it was processed and it was awarded. Okay. When that is awarded, that intent to file is closed. It's done. It is over with. Now, if there is another claim or a different kind of claim, you can have multiple claims going that are different with different intent to file dates. Okay. So in your case, intent to file, stuck in the claim, it was awarded, intent's over with. Now, anytime at all, you can do another intent to file, and you have a year to put in a second claim. So if we believe that we can get together the second claim within 1 year, I would do it now.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Yeah,
And
I just thought that would be beneficial information for me, and also all of those, everyone that's on the panel, and of course just to strengthen your your information, your knowledge of claims, because it was quite a challenge, but I was up for it, and it was very interesting. I mean, it was very, very interesting. And also, I thought that since you're so busy and it's a busy season, that we would talk, because you mentioned that we should probably have a sort of a wrap up or closing session.
Okay.
So we'll be in touch, and again, thanks. And oh yeah, too, I see brother Dan. Are you familiar with Newburgh, New York?
I am.
I worked at a Ford dealership for for a minute there.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. I lived in Orange County for a while, but southwest of Newburgh, Florida, New York.
Well, oh, I think I've heard of that.
Orange County, Florida, New York.
Are you familiar with Kingston?
Yes.
That's where that's where my family's from.
Yeah, that whole area on that side of the river.
Yeah.
Because West Point is further south.
Right.
Bear Mountain.
Oh,
right. Yeah. You don't want to get stuck up there in the winter.
Oh, I loved it. My wife was on the air, on the radio in the city.
Really?
When I went to work every day, so that was cool.
Yeah.
She's
okay,
from
great.
Buffalo.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem at all. Buffalo, I mean, that I understand is a lot of snow. So, okay. Let's see. Anything else to discuss? Well, I got a question for anybody who is here. Does anybody here use the Kaiser folks for healthcare? No, that's okay. A question.
Yeah, Jim, I do.
Yeah, okay. Now, has anybody in their private healthcare got contacted by a company called BeneLink? And the thing, I am going to write this up, and it's a sort of strange thing. As I said, I have a private healthcare through the federal retirement. I have, okay, it's a civilian. And so I get a letter out of this firm, and we BeneLink out of Florida, and it has a Kaiser logo on it. And they're asking me to sign a VA form that will authorize the VA and all of my community care providers to send all of my VA records to a post office box in Missouri, of all point. And it's not even an address to them. It's called Release Point, and it's a post office box. So I called up these folks and said, look, who are you? So they described to me that they're a records repository, and that Kaiser and them are going to somehow try to get a handle on all of my medical records, because the problem there is, if you're in a private healthcare system and they don't have access to your VA records, then they may not be up to date on all your treatments. And it's even worse when the VA has given you out to community care. Like here, I go to the Hopkins folks, Johns Hopkins. So I've got Kaiser, VA, and Hopkins. And how do you keep all of the doctors in sync? So I call up Kaiser and ask them about this. And nobody at Kaiser can, would you believe, answer my question about who are these folks. So, and it's interesting, on the VA form, if you ever fill out that form that allows your records to go, on the back of it, there is a section concerning records about drug abuse, alcoholism, mental problems, and all of that stuff. And there are boxes to check on this form, but then if you read the fine print, it says that even if you don't check the boxes, in other words, you leave all of the boxes blank, the VA will send the information anyway, even if you don't authorize it, unless you check a totally different box, which isn't obvious that you can check. So it was all very strange. So I've been trying to pursue this within Kaiser to figure out if it's legit or not. But it's going to be last for up to 7 years. So it's just something to be aware of. If you see anything like this, I would question it. And I would not, personally, I am not signing, authorizing anything to send off my medical records to a company I have no idea who it is, to an address, a post office box in Missouri.
It sounds like a scam.
Well, it does, but it's actually a legit company but it could be somebody using that company as a front for other purposes. So I call up the telephone number that you're supposed to call, and they answer as if they are Kaiser. And then I say, well, aren't you BennyLink? And they say, oh, yes, we are also them too. So I don't know if these folks are innocent dupes that were hired to front for I was an IT guy for 45 years, right? It's called computer security. And a lot of us were within the Intel world, where there are the good guys and the bad guys and the good girls and the bad girls. And there were some instances where they can do all kinds of nefarious things. So the best thing for me to do is to do absolutely nothing, because they claim, well, there isn't anything that claims that you have to do it. So anyway, but it has in it a valid VA form. So just be alert for this. And if you do bump across it, anybody out there, contact me, please. I would love to talk to you to find out your take on it at captjim@ancan.org. Okay. Any other topics somebody would like to talk about? No?
I just had a question. Do you want me to send my information to your personal address or to the AnCan address?
You can do the personal.
Okay.
Because provided it goes to the AnCan, all I do is to then forward it to my personal address, because everything I built has been built onto my personal address.
Okay.
And AnCan, I've been doing this now for close to 2.5 years.
Right.
Maybe or so, and hopefully it will last a while longer. Okay, anybody else have anything? Are we just about set to wrap up? Because it's an hour and a half.
All right.
And Rick Davis hasn't come on, so at the time he comes on, all of us will be gone. but it's Christmas.
I think
So,
Mr. was waving his hand.
yes, Sylvester is, so
I
if,
just wanted to wish
Oh.
each and every one of you a safe holiday season. I won't be here the next meeting, but I'll see you all during the new year.
oh, and wait, I got one short story that is thing. I was out in Denver. Okay, I was out there in the Space Force, and I was fortunate enough to be in a group of 35 officers and civilians, and I was the only sergeant. I was my own, essentially, NCOIC, because I was it. So IG happens to come in, and they asked me a question that, do I get a safety briefing every Friday before I take off? And I say, absolutely. My boss is very I ski, okay, and I backpack in the mountains and stuff. And yes, every Friday before I leave, my boss, who was a captain, is very insistent, and he gives me a safety briefing. Okay, IG leaves, and the boss comes to me and says, Jim, you never have to lie for me, because I don't give you a safety briefing ever. I said, sir, you do give me a safety briefing. He said, no, I don't. I said, sir, isn't it true that every Friday you say, I will see you Monday? Right? That's the implied safety briefing, right? So that's true. So hopefully I will see all in our next one in January, which is, I'm not quite sure the date, but it's the first Tuesday. I think it's January the 2nd. Yes. Okay. And let me stop the